Hey there, you Russian bootlicking, Trump supporting, fake ass patriots, Nazis. Yeah, I'm talking to you. What do you mean you ain't a Nazi? Yeah, you are. You're a Nazi. Come on, you ain't hiding from that no more. It's right out there in the open. Everybody knows it. No, you might not have a swastika tattooed on your forehead yet, but everybody knows it. Okay, you support Nazi ideology is what you're doing, and you're complicit in all of that. Everything that's going on. I'll get to that in a minute. But hey, look, I got a question for you. I know that y'all are awfully concerned all the time about these congressmen that sit there in Congress and make all these millions of dollars while they're up there on a $175,000 a year salary. You know, and I understand that. Yeah, it bothers the hell out of everybody. You know, they shouldn't be making that kind of money. But the thing is look, hey, y'all only seem to think that the people that do that have a D beside their name. Yeah, you only think it's Democrats that do that. And that's weird that you think that. Why would you think that whenever it's all Republicans that do all the criming all the time? And they're doing it right now, right in front of your face. You don't pay attention. You just go out there and vote, and you're like, well, we did the right thing, voted for a bunch of Republicans. We got Donald F. and Trump back there in the White House. I don't have to pay attention to a damn thing. They're going to do everything right for me. I know that's what you think. But look, just because you got an R by your name don't mean that you ain't a criminal. Hey, you know who would surprise you? Don't surprise me none. That Marjorie's Taters Green, you know the one I'm talking about, been in Congress for about 4 years, you know. Yeah, looks like a Flintstone. Looks like she smells like feet, you know what I mean? She come into Congress with a net worth of about $700,000, you know. Well, now then she has a net worth of about $22 million. Can you explain that one, or do you even care to? No, you don't care to, do you? No, I didn't figure you would, because you lack this thing called integrity, is what it is. You have zero integrity. Okay, that means that your point of view on things, really, you don't have one. It just goes wherever the wind blows. Whatever helps you push your white Christian nationalist bigotry, racism, misogyny, and homophobia. Whatever helps support that, that's what you go with, right? Because it ain't got nothing to do with any integrity, because you don't got none of that. Or you'd be awfully upset some of these Republicans that sit up there and make millions and millions of dollars while they're in Congress, right? But you don't. You never mention that. You're always worried about Nancy Pelosi or somebody like that. That's what you're worried about. It's just like whenever that dude went and bashed in Nancy Pelosi's head there at his own house. You didn't have nothing to say about that. You actually kind of cheered that on. What you did. You think, well, he deserved it. Well, because he's married to Nancy Pelosi and they're a bunch of criminals. Hey, what about Marjorie's Taters Green? Does she deserve it? Huh? $22 million in 4 years. How about that people that went and burned down the governor's mansion there in Pennsylvania while the governor and his wife and his kids were at home, huh? You ain't said nothing about that either. It's because you have zero integrity. Zero integrity. Some people vandalize some Teslas, and you got something to say about it. Don't you vandalize no Teslas, or we'll make you a terrorist. Somebody Molotov cocktails the governor's mansion in Pennsylvania, and you ain't got a damn thing to say about it because you got zero integrity. But back to you being a damn Nazi. Look, you know that Donald F. and Trump there, what he's doing is deporting people in this country that are here illegally. Now, I thought y'all was on board with just getting rid of the ones that was here illegally. That's what y'all was saying. We got to get rid of them illegals out of our country. Deport them. Mass deportations. Well, he's sending people out of this country that are here legally and sending them down to El Salvador death prison, a death camp. That's where he's sending them to. Them people ain't never coming back. They don't get due process, you know. Well, that one dude there, well, he was part of MS-13s. No, the hell he wasn't. He had committed the crime of wearing a Chicago Bulls hat, and some dude said that he was MS-13. Found out otherwise, but they sent his ass down there anyway. He got a family here, and you ain't said nothing about that. That's Nazi stuff is what that is. That's what you're supporting. Hey, there's another feller there, 19-year-old, that walked from Venezuela up to the United States-Mexican border. Yeah, by himself. Walked up there, never crossed the U.S. border until he was contacted by an immigration officer. So he did everything right, according to you. He didn't cross illegally. He did everything right. Seeked asylum through the process. And they picked him up and deported his ass down to El Salvador too. But you're okay with that. That's why I'm calling you an effing Nazi, because that's what the F you are, because you ain't speaking out against it. Donald F. and Trump is now talking about deporting U.S. citizens on a mass scale. What you ain't paying attention to is that they are using this as a money maker. Hey, how about Betsy DeVos's brother there, Eric Prince? You know, the one that used to own Blackwater. The one that got in all that trouble for war crimes over in Iraq. How about him now setting up another business to fly these people down to El Salvador prison? Huh? Charging the taxpayer $10,000 a head on these people to fly them down there. He's profiting on it. Hey, maybe that's why Krasnov, Donald F. and Trump stood there in the White House and told that El Salvador dictator, hey, you need to open up 5 more facilities because we got a lot more people coming because we're making a lot of damn money off of it, right? So that's why I'm calling you an effing Nazi, because you're supporting Nazi ideologies. Those people down there going to El Salvador ain't coming back. Hey, did you know this? There's satellite images of what appears to be out there in the grounds of that so-called prison of a pile of bodies with a blood trail leading to it. Okay? That's where you're allowing Krasnov to send those people to. Hitler 2.0. Maybe he was a reincarnated Hitler because he was born just a year after that son of a bitch died. So anyway, you're supporting that. That's why I'm calling you an effing Nazi. Anyway, those facilities down there, I don't know if you've ever looked into it. ABC did a special down there. Those cells that they put those people in are about a 15 by 30 foot cell. They put 30 people in each one of them things. It's filled up with cots. They ain't got no room to even move around. They're lucky they even get something to lay on, but they never leave there breathing. That's what you're supporting. That's why I'm calling you effing Nazi. So if you ain't okay with that, then you need to leave that Trump train, leave that MAGA cult, because that's where it's left you now. It's being labeled a Nazi. Hey, them people over in Germany back in the 1930s didn't think they were Nazis either, but the history books say otherwise. Do you want to be that? Because that's where you're headed, right the F now. Inmate Trump.